before the royal wedding, before the designer dresses and the Netflix millions. Meghan Markle had a completely different life. She was married to a man named Joe Giuliano. The marriage lasted barely 2 years before it collapsed, and for over a decade, nobody knew why. Joe has stayed silent through everything: the Oprah interview, the royal exit, the global media circus. He never said one word. But his family? They've been talking. And what they're saying about Meghan is brutal. They claim they saw through her from day one. They say she was using Joe as a stepping stone. They say they rejected her because they knew exactly what she was.
I remember in the car and driving up, and he said, "You know how to curtsy, right?" And I just thought it was a joke.
This is the story Meghan doesn't want you to hear.
That women all over America are fighting greasy pots and pans. And the boy said, "Yeah, that's where women belong, in the kitchen." And at 11, I just found that infuriating.
I don't think it's right for kids to grow up thinking these things.
Meghan met Joe Giuliano in the early 2000s when she was a struggling actress in Los Angeles. Joe was a film producer, a few years older, working in the industry. They got married in Jamaica in September 2011. Small ceremony, no media, no photographers, just family and friends. But according to Joe's family, the problems started immediately. Multiple relatives have spoken to tabloids over the years, always anonymously, and their stories are shockingly consistent. They all say the same thing: Meghan treated the marriage like a business arrangement. One family member told a journalist that Meghan made it crystal clear from the beginning that her acting career came first. Everything else, including Joe, was secondary. She would attend industry events with Joe, meet his contacts, collect phone numbers and business cards, and then pursue those connections on her own. Joe's family watched it happen and realized she was networking through their son.
The flip-flop culture is part of just who I am. I love my cutoffs and flip-flops and being as relaxed as can be.
Then there's the money issue. Multiple sources claim Meghan wanted a lifestyle that Joe couldn't afford. She wanted designer clothes, expensive dinners, a certain image. Joe was doing fine as a producer, but he wasn't rich. According to his family, Meghan resented that. She'd make comments about other couples they knew who had bigger houses or nicer cars. She made Joe feel like he wasn't enough. The cultural clash was real. Joe comes from a traditional Italian-American family. Big Sunday dinners, extended family gatherings, the whole 9 yards. Meghan reportedly found it suffocating.
But that doesn't mean anything. I didn't even go to college. What did you study at college?
I double majored, theater and international relations, and then I went and worked for the U.S. Embassy for a bit. And
Where?
In Argentina, in Buenos
That's
Aires.
sensational.
Isn't it
You
great
speak Spanish?
I do now, but they speak
Right.
a very different kind of Spanish. It's Castellano.
She'd skip family events if something came up for her career. She'd show up late and leave early. Joe's mother allegedly told relatives that Meghan never felt like part of the family. She was always an outsider looking for the exit.
Mostly just fish and veggies, but I am also a foodie. So on the weekends, all bets are off. I think if you deprive yourself of anything, you're just going to crave it more. So for me, it's just finding that balance, eating really good during the week, and then, treating yourself to whatever it is you want over the weekend.
By 2013, it was over. They filed for divorce citing irreconcilable differences. Quick, quiet, done. No kids, no custody battle, no public drama. Meghan moved on fast. Within a year she was dating Trevor Engelson, who would become husband number 2. Here's where it gets explosive. Joe's family didn't just think Meghan was ambitious. They thought she was calculating. They claimed she married Joe specifically to gain access to Hollywood connections, and once she got what she needed, she discarded him.
Information came direct from Meghan's ex-husband, Trevor Engelson, via an intermediary. And obviously Trevor Engelson is a very successful TV producer. He now has his own family. He's very happy. He hasn't spoken on the record.
The most damaging story involves a family wedding. Details are fuzzy because nobody will go on record, but multiple versions have circulated. One version claims Meghan threw a fit when she wasn't seated at the main family table. She allegedly said something about being Joe's wife and deserving better treatment. Joe's aunts and uncles were appalled. In their culture, you don't demand special treatment at someone else's wedding. Another version says Meghan left the reception early because she had an audition the next morning. She didn't ask Joe if it was okay. She just announced she was leaving and expected him to leave with her. When Joe said he wanted to stay because it was his cousin's wedding, Meghan reportedly went anyway, alone. Joe's family saw that as the ultimate disrespect.
I grew up in Los Angeles, so I often say if you grew up in a small coal mining town, for example, maybe you'd become a coal miner. I grew up in the entertainment industry, so I was inspired to get involved in not acting specifically, but definitely in wanting to be part of the team of making a TV show or a film from that.
But the most brutal claim comes from Joe's cousin. She says Meghan made a comment during a family dinner that crossed a line. According to this cousin, Meghan looked at Joe's mother and said she couldn't imagine dedicating her entire life to cooking and cleaning for a family. She said she had bigger dreams than that. Joe's mother was devastated. She'd spent decades raising her children and creating a warm home, and Meghan essentially called it a waste. Whether or not that specific comment happened, the sentiment was clear. Meghan didn't respect their values. She didn't want their lifestyle, and she made no effort to hide it. After the divorce, Joe's father allegedly told him he dodged a bullet. He said Meghan would have destroyed Joe's spirit, that she was too selfish to ever be a real partner. Joe's family was relieved when the marriage ended. Here's what makes this story devastating. Joe Giuliano wasn't a one-off. The same pattern repeated with Trevor Engelson, Meghan's second husband. Trevor was blindsided when Meghan left him after landing her role on Suits and meeting Prince Harry. He felt used. He even pitched a TV show about a man whose ex-wife marries into the British royal family. The show never got made, but the message was clear.
And then she sent me an email saying, I know you said you're single, and a friend of mine asked about you, and maybe you'd like to meet him. And I said, who is it? And she said, it's Prince Has. And I said, who's that?
Then there's Meghan's own family. Her father Thomas Markle claims she cut him off completely after he cooperated with paparazzi before her wedding to Harry. He says she's cold, calculating, and only maintains relationships that serve her purposes. Her half-sister Samantha has said even worse things, though her credibility is questionable.
She's a sociopathic narcissist.
She has been called a narcissist many times.
She's a narcissist.
She is a narcissist of the highest order.
The world can now see Harry and Meghan for what I've known they are for some time. Narcissistic egotists.
These two are insane narcissists.
But when you line up Joe's family, Trevor's experience, and her own relatives' claims, a picture emerges. Multiple people from completely different parts of Meghan's life are saying the same thing. She uses people. She discards them when they're no longer useful. She prioritizes her ambitions above everything else. Joe himself has never confirmed any of this. He's maintained total radio silence. No interviews, no tell-all books, no leaked stories for money. His silence is either incredibly noble or legally required by an NDA. Either way, he's the only person in Meghan's orbit who hasn't capitalized on knowing her. His family, though, they're not bound by the same constraints, and they're making sure people know what they think Meghan Markle really is.
I left after an hour, and I told him that I had other plans. And then I called him that evening and I was like, look, I'm leaving the day after tomorrow. Do you want to grab dinner tomorrow night?
Look, there are two ways to interpret this story. The first is that Meghan was a young, ambitious woman trying to make it in a brutal industry. She married someone who couldn't support her dreams, realized it wasn't working, and left. That's not a crime. That's survival. The second interpretation is darker. That Meghan deliberately married Joe for access, used his connections, drained what she could from the relationship, and moved on without a second thought. That she lacks the ability to form genuine attachments because she sees people as stepping stones, not partners. Joe's family clearly believes the second version, but here's the thing, even if they're right, what was Meghan supposed to do? Stay in a marriage that wasn't working? Pretend to love someone she didn't? Put Joe's feelings above her own career? The entertainment industry rewards ruthlessness. Maybe Meghan succeeded because she was willing to do things other people wouldn't. Maybe that's not a character flaw. Maybe it's why she's Duchess of Sussex and living in a Montecito mansion while Joe Giuliano faded into obscurity. But Joe's family will never see it that way. To them, Meghan will always be the woman who used their son, rejected their values, and walked away without looking back, and they want the world to know it. Joe Giuliano is the ghost in Meghan Markle's past that nobody talks about. His family's claims paint a picture of a woman who was always looking for the next step up, who treated relationships as transactions, who knew exactly what she wanted and didn't let anything stand in her way. Whether you see that as ambition or ruthlessness probably depends on how you already feel about Meghan. What do you think? Was Meghan just a driven woman making tough choices? Or did Joe's family see something real? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more royal secrets that don't make the headlines, hit that subscribe button now.